So in a community poll I put up about a month ago, I asked which station y'all would like to see me cover next, and Mets-Willets Point won with an overwhelming 58% of the vote. So today, we're here, at the Willets Point Station in Queens. The station was first opened on May 7th, 1927. May 7th just happens to be the date I am recording this video on, so happy birthday to the station. The station opened to the name of Willets Point Boulevard. It was built by the IRT and BMT as part of the joint dual contracts. This station had quite the interesting opening. For the first week, only shuttle trains from 111th Street operated to and from the station, and since the Main Street station wasn't completed at the time, passengers needed to take shuttle buses to Flushing. This made Willets Point quite a high-use station, as passengers to and from Flushing were required to use this station. That was short-lived, however, as the Main Street station opened to passengers in January of 1928, leaving Willets Point with the title of least used station. This was because, at the time, and this sorta still holds true today, there was nothing around the station. No housing, no shops, just basically dirt and roads. That partially changed in 1939 when the station was rebuilt to handle crowds going to the nearby New York World's Fair in Flushing Meadows Park. The original station was built like many of the others on the Flushing line, 3 tracks with 2 platforms on either side. This rebuild introduced the current layout, still with 3 tracks and 2 side platforms, but with a new island platform between M track and 2 track. A wooden passageway was also constructed to connect the station with the adjacent Park and Long Island Railroad station. For a short time, the station was named World's Fair as its main purpose was to get people to the event. To help with this, the first express trains started running on the Flushing line in mid-1939. The World's Fair ended in late 1940, and with that, Willets Point saw another huge reduction in ridership. In April of 1964, Queens saw itself hosting yet another World's Fair, again in Flushing Meadows Park. Shea Stadium had just been erected outside of the station as well, and with that, the station saw a boost in ridership and its second name change, this time to Willets Point Shea Stadium. Around this time, the station saw a small renovation, including the replacement of the wooden platforms with new concrete ones, the platforms that are still here today. The station has remained unchanged ever since, even with the replacement of Shea Stadium with Citi Field and the opening of the National Tennis Center. The only thing special about this station now are the entrances that open up during event days. Like, just look at this view from the walkway. You can get a nice look at Corona Yard, Casey Stengel Bus Depot, and the Long Island Railroad's Willets Point Station. Now, for this station, I'm going to take a bit of time to answer some of the questions I see a lot about Willets Point. When Shea Stadium was replaced by Citi Field, why wasn't the station renamed Willets Point Citi Field? Citigroup, the company who owns the naming rights to the stadium, did not sign naming rights agreements with the MTA, so the city name could not be used in the station name. To bypass this without running into any legal issues, the MTA chose to name the station Mets-Willets Point after the New York Mets, who play in Citi Field. Why is the southbound or Manhattan-bound platform so long? There is a now abandoned entrance that leads up to the platform, so I think it's safe to assume that trains used to stop closer to this end of the station, maybe prior to the rebuild. And the final one, will this station ever have more built around it? Actually, yes. There is a huge development project taking place that will include thousands of affordable housing units, a soccer stadium, and more. Hopefully when that's complete, this station will see a boost in ridership. So that's the Willets Point Station. One of the more interesting ones if I'm being completely honest. The developments around the station are definitely something to keep an eye on, and I'd love to see how this area looks when it's all complete. What are your thoughts on this station? For me, it's one of my favorites on the 7 line, and the reason barely has anything to do with the station itself, but rather the special Super Express trains that run after Mets games. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video and you would like to see more content like this, like, subscribe, and consider supporting me through channel memberships or super thanks. Special thanks to RC from the NYC and Damien's Transit and Health Bar videos for supporting me at the train operator tier.